Hello there and welcome to my channel. My name is Tiffany and I'm a human design reader among many other things. And so today I thought I'd go back to basics and just talk a little bit about human design at a high level. What are the different energy types? What is strategy and authority? And why should you care? And I'm also going to let you know what you can do if you'd like to understand what your energy type is. So I was scrolling through Facebook a few weeks ago and I found this quote. And I want to read it to you because it really does a great job of expressing how human design can help us, okay? So this quote is, "When you know yourself, you are empowered. When you accept yourself, you are invincible." And this is a quote by Lifford. And so what's really cool about this is that human design is essentially a tool that we can use to truly know ourselves, accept who we are, and really live in alignment with our true self. And the whole idea is the more we can lean into who we are, really embrace who we are, the more we will feel empowered. All right, so let's get into the boring details. So human design is a system that was created in 1992 by a man named Alan Robert Krakauer. He's also known as Ra Uru Hu. And so this system is essentially a blend or a synthesis of the Chinese I Ching, Western astrology, the Kabbalistic tree of life, and the Hindu Brahmin chakra system, okay? And human design is also called the science of differentiation. So as you're moving through the world, right, you know that the way you see success and the way you operate is different, say, than the way your partner operates, your coworkers operate. So let me give you a really clear example. So a lot of times we put pressure on ourselves to do things like other people do it. We hear these external voices that say, for example, to be successful in life, you need to be consistent. Well, human design is going to tell you whether or not you're designed to be consistent. Some people are designed to be consistent. Some people are not designed to be consistent. I, for one, am not designed to be consistent. In fact, I'm designed to be inconsistent. But this doesn't mean that just because you're inconsistent in the way you move through life or work through things, it doesn't mean you're not going to be successful. It doesn't mean you won't make money. It doesn't mean that you can't go after the things that you want, right? However, the external world is going to tell you that. I'm sure there's thousands of videos on YouTube that say you have to be consistent to do X, Y, Z, right? And so what human design is saying, don't listen to those external voices that say you need to be consistent. Embrace the fact that maybe you are a little bit inconsistent and that the how you get there, the how you get things done, the how you reach your success looks different than other people, okay? So this is where differentiation comes in and is really key, because if we can understand how we are different than other people, then we can know when to shut out those voices that are telling us we should be doing things one way when really we're designed to do them another way. All right, so if you have been curious about human design, you probably know there's something called the human design body graph chart. So I just want to mention that really quick. So when people ask me, what is human design? I will say it's astrology adjacent. And the reason I say that is because, like in astrology, you take your birth date, your birth time, your birth location, and you put it into a calculator and you get your astrological chart, right? Well, human design is the same way. You put in your birth details and you get something called a body graph chart. And so this chart is essentially the thing that shows you how you can live in sync with your unique or your true nature, okay? This chart is going to tell you your energy type. It's going to tell you how you're supposed to use your energy in the world. It's going to tell you how you can make decisions that are best for you. And it's also going to highlight the energy that you bring, the gifts and the talents that you bring into this world. All right, so the last thing I want to say about human design as a system before I move into the different energy types is just that If you're in the human design community long enough, you're going to hear people talk about how human design is an experiment. So the idea is to think about this as an experiment. You get your body graph chart, you understand where your gifts and talents are, you understand how you're designed to be, how you're meant to use your energy in the world. And then what you do is just lean into it, and lean into it gently. This doesn't have to be a black and white situation, but the more you can lean into your energy type, the more you're going to see flow in your life. So think about it as an experiment. You can try it on, see if it works for you. And if it doesn't, you can always go back to the old way of doing things. All right, so next I want to talk to you about the different human design energy types. So the way I was trained, there are 5 different energy types in human design. There are generators, manifestors, manifesting generators, projectors, and reflectors. So first of all, what is an energy type? Energy type is the first thing that identifies you in human design, sort of like your sun sign in astrology. So if you're a Capricorn or a Virgo in astrology, that's your zodiac sign. The same thing with human design. You are going to have an energy type. Once you put in your birth details and you get that body graph chart, it's going to tell you what your energy type is. You want to think of your energy type as the science of your aura. So think about everybody in the world. We all have this energetic aura around us. We are energetic beings. And so what your energy type is, it's essentially tells you how you are designed to use your energetic body. So before I dive into different energy types and give you a high-level view of each energy type, I want to talk about strategy and authority really quick, because strategy and authority will come into play as I'm moving through the different energy types. So first, let's talk about strategy. So each of the different energy types has a specific way that their energy should be exchanged with the world around them. And that is their strategy. Generators are to respond. Manifestors are to inform. And so it's telling you that if you use your energy correctly and exchange that energy correctly for your energy type, you will eliminate resistance. Things will start to feel more effortless for you, and the things that are meant for you will come to you. When you don't use your strategy and you use your energy incorrectly, this is when you will encounter resistance in life. You might feel stuck. You might feel like things aren't moving. It might feel like a lot of struggle just to get where you want to be. Or it may be that you put a lot of energy into things that don't give you much back in return. Your authority in human design is the way you gain clarity to make decisions. So when we're talking about decisions, think big decisions, not the little everyday stuff, not what are you going to eat for dinner necessarily, but hey, am I moving across the country? Am I quitting my job? Those sorts of things. There are 7 different types of authority in human design. So each energy type has a strategy, right? It's the way your energy is designed to exchange energy with the world around it. But then each individual body graph chart has an authority that is specific to you. All right, so next I want to talk about the 5 different energy types. I'm going to go through them one by one, and I'm just going to touch on some really high-level concepts. So generators are really here to create energy. They're here to share the energy they create by doing what they love to do, okay? And when they're doing things they love to do, they can almost have this attracting aura that's going to pull in opportunities and people around them. A common challenge, though, for generators is, number one, following their desires, because as a generator, they've often, like a lot of us, they've grown up in a situation where they need to compromise for other people. And so what they end up doing is they put their own desires on the back burner because they feel the sense of duty to really do for other people. So generators, it's really important for them to start really honoring their desires, honoring their passions, honoring the things that really light them up. Generator strategy is going to be to respond. Remember, I talked about strategy being how do you exchange your energy with the world around you? So the to respond means that the universe is going to bring things in front of the generator, and the generator is going to need to respond to those things. So just a simple example, the generator is at a shopping mall, they're walking through the mall, and they see all these things coming in front of them in these windows in the shops, and they see something that really excites them. When that excitement comes and they see that thing that they really love, that's the thing they need to go after. And that's a very basic example. All right, so next I want to talk about the manifestor energy type. So manifestors have the biggest of all auras. They are also the second rarest energy type. Manifestors are really designed to inform other people about what they're doing. So manifestors are going to have these urges or impulses. They're going to have this inner knowing of the next thing they want to do. And by following those impulses, by following those urges, they are going to essentially gather energy and create moment in a particular direction. And this is whether they intend to do so or not. I talk to a lot of manifestors who are like, well, I'm not here to be a fire starter. I really just want to sit and watch some Netflix. So when manifestors get these urges or these impulses to do the things that they want to do, they will create momentum in a particular direction. And so really what they are here to do is inform other people. I have a manifestor friend. She's always going out and doing things. She also spends a lot of time at home binge watching Netflix, believe me. But there are times when she's like, I'm going to go volunteer. I'm going to go take ballroom dancing lessons. And so what the manifestor's job is to do, if they're really leaning into their strategy and using their energy correctly, is they're going to let other people know around them, hey, I'm going to do this thing. You're welcome to join me. Or you are welcome to not join me. And the thing that the manifestor has to be very in tune with and very okay with is that some people will want to do something with them and some people will not. So they have to be okay and not look to other people to validate them following their own urge, right? A lot of times manifestors will tamp down their urges or their impulses because they're worried about what other people might think, or they don't want to do it by themselves. Maybe they wanted a particular person to do something with them, and they have to really honor that urge and just go after it, even if it's on their own. All right, so next I'm going to talk about the manifesting generators. So manifesting generators are essentially a hybrid of the generator and the manifestor. And so it's called manifesting generator. And so manifesting generators are similar to generators in the sense that they have that same strategy. The way they use their energy with the world around them is to respond to things. A manifesting generator might be scrolling through Pinterest and see somebody painting beautiful pictures and they're like, oh my gosh, I really want to do that thing. And so they're inspired to buy a paint kit from Amazon or something. And so it's a similar strategy as the generator, but the difference is that manifesting generators are really here to create that sacral energy by doing what they love to do, but they're also going to be living more of a nonlinear life path. And so what do I mean by nonlinear? Manifesting generators, because they have this manifestor side of them that just kind of wants to initiate things, that it has some impulse, that has impulses, manifesting generators have to honor that impulse as well. Manifesting generators really need to honor their desires, but also understand that they are going to pivot more often in life than other energy types are going to do. So what does pivoting look like? Pivoting looks like, I'm following my desire. I sign up for this course. I'm going to learn all about marketing, and I'm really excited about it because I have my own business. But then I get through maybe halfway through the course, and all of a sudden I've lost that desire. And I'm like, oh my goodness, what do I do? And so what the manifesting generator needs to do is really pay attention to when their interest has waned and then pivot when they're inspired to do so, and not beat themselves up for thinking, oh, but I paid $500 for this course. They need to understand and embrace the fact that once they've lost the interest in it, they've gotten the skill they needed and it's time to move on. Anything that they put their energy into is always worth it, even if they don't finish things. And so they should not have a negative story about not finishing things. All right, so let's talk about the projector energy type. So projectors are the newest energy type in human design, and they're essentially the new CEOs on the planet. And this is because they're here to bring efficiency by guiding energy, not necessarily people. And the way they're supposed to use their energy, their strategy, is to wait to be invited. This sounds like a passive thing, a passive act, but it's really not, because what the projector is designed to do is to really embrace their gifts, understand the gifts they bring to the table, understand the things that they could do in their sleep, and do them, and then wait to be recognized by other people so that they can share those gifts. So I'll give you an example. Perhaps a projector is a great writer and they love to write fiction, they love to write stories. And so they start to write. They self-publish books on Amazon, maybe they're writing articles or submitting stories to magazines. And then what ends up starting to happen is soon the projector will be recognized for this gift and they'll get invitations. Maybe they get an invitation to write a book. Maybe they get invitations to add their stories to other magazines or other publications. And so the idea is that they are working on the things that they really love to do and that they're good at doing, but the success is going to come when the invitations come, when people have recognized their work. And so in order to recognize the gift the projector has to put it out into the world in some way. A common challenge, though, for a projector is feeling like they have to conform to the way the world works, because projectors a lot of times will find themselves trying to behave or work or operate like a generator or manifesting generator, because those energy types make up most of the population. And so they will often feel like they have to work and operate a certain way. There's a lot of rhetoric out there that says, go out and grab things and make things happen, right? But the projector is not here to necessarily do that. They're here to embrace their gift, refine their gift, and share it in a way other people can see it. Now I want to talk about reflectors. But reflectors are the rarest type, and they make up about 1% of the population. And because reflectors have no defined energy centers in their chart, they have the greatest potential for wisdom out of all the different types. Their strength essentially comes through awareness. So their relationship with energy is really to pick up on the energy around them, the auras of other people around them, sample that energy, and then reflect back how things are going, because they are here to be a mirror for society and show us what's really happening, what's really going on. The way a reflector is meant to use their energy type in the world is to wait a lunar cycle. So when something comes up and the reflector is really trying to decide what they want to do, so let's say they want to move out of the country, or maybe they want to move to Canada or something like that, it's really going to behoove them to wait that full lunar cycle to understand how that thing makes them feel and how it feels in their body over time, okay? I understand that sometimes it's not realistic to wait a full lunar cycle, but the more time a reflector can buy themselves to really understand how it makes them feel in their body over time, the better. Common challenges for the reflector energy type is that reflectors are not here to be put into a box. They are not here to be identifying with a specific label, because they're a chameleon in the world, and their energy operates differently than almost everyone else in the world. And so the biggest mistake or biggest challenge a reflector can make is to start really identifying with a specific label. For example, if a reflector is a mother, if they really start identifying with that label of a mother, that is going to be something that can start to make them feel enclosed in. They're really here to be many things. They're really here to be a chameleon. They're not just a mother. They may be a mother. They may be also a project manager. They may have many different labels that they wear. So it's really important for them to not box themselves into these personality types or roles when they're moving through life. All right, so if you would like to discover your human design, where do you start? So you will need to take your birth date, your birth time, and your birth location. I do recommend trying to get your specific birth date, the one that's on your birth certificate versus what your mom remembers, if you can. But you will take this information, you will find a human design calculator, and you'll be able to pull up your body graph chart and discover your energy type. I do recommend going to myhumandesign.com website or the My Human Design app to get your chart. And the reason is because when you input your information into that calculator, you're going to get some of the more fun, advanced areas of the chart, such as your ideal digestion, your ideal environment, and your strongest sense. All right, so a note about birth time really quick. So your exact birth time is ideal. However, if you don't have it, it's okay. I recommend doing the best that you can. I've done readings for people who were born in other countries where maybe there was a big storm or a typhoon happening, and so they don't have their birth records. You know, their mom was like, I don't know, it was somewhere in the 2 to 5 a.m. range. It was in the middle of the night, whatever. But really, it's worth exploring anyway. Just know that the areas of the chart that really are affected by birth time are the arrows on either side, which include the ideal digestion and strongest sense. However, if you hire a reader to help you with your chart, you will probably be able to work with that person to figure out quite where you land with those variables in the chart. All right, so that's all I have today. So if you have any questions for me, just let me know and I will talk to you later.